So I'm sure that by now you've figured out that astrology is one of my main interests. Another interest of mine is the subject of words themselves. And what I notice is that in order to really understand what a word means, it's helpful to look into the etymology, the root meaning. And then you notice that in a lot of cases, they emanate from the ancient languages like Latin, Greek, Arabic, sometimes even Sanskrit. One such word, which is important in this particular video, is the word Pyrrhic, which comes from Greek and connects to the idea of fire, and then from there you get reddish or flame-colored. But in terms of its meaning, it connotes a victory which is not very impactful. So a Pyrrhic victory would be you get a result that is a win but doesn't really get you very far. In fact, in the definition it states that if you keep winning like this, you're going to lose everything eventually. And I think this applies really well to our former wannabe fascist Orange Menace, because if you look at his Jupiter transits, he seems to be in a phase where a powerful planet, particularly in his chart, is delivering Pyrrhic victories. One of them, as I'm sure you've heard, is his success in pushing back on people like Liz Cheney, who are calling him out, as they should, for his lies about the election and about all kinds of things. And he's intending to purge the GOP of all of those from the old guard, like Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney, of course, probably Paul Ryan at some point. And I call those Pyrrhic victories. And another such Pyrrhic victory came in the last couple of days. It was reported on today by the major outlets. You can read about it in the PDF that I've put a link to in this video. It goes to the text of a Washington Post article in which it's reported that the Federal Elections Commission, the FEC, is declining to pursue an investigation into the Stormy Daniels matter, for which you will remember his ex-lawyer, Michael Cohen, now an avowed enemy, actually went to prison for, in part, not totally, but part of it was that. And the judgment explicitly stated that Trump was individual one, and so Cohen had acted at the direction of individual one. So obviously that needs to be investigated. But the commission is formed by an even split of Republicans and Democrats. And so since they split the vote, they couldn't agree and they had to abandon the investigation. This is typical of our divided political times. However, that is not a final judgment, because the legal judgment came from the Southern District of New York. And so that is yet to be resolved, and they can certainly act upon it if they want to. But in terms of the immediate short-term effect, I suppose it's a victory, a Pyrrhic victory. But I will say this, if this is the most Jupiter is bringing you, it doesn't bode well for the future, because the number of planets that are surrounding this guy and will continue to for the next months and into the next years, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Eris, Jupiter too. Jupiter in Pisces, which is the next sign it goes into, is not helpful because it squares Gemini, and it's in a really tricky house, the 8th. So I say let him enjoy his Pyrrhic victories, but just give it a little bit more time. Let's be patient and wait this out.